Are you ready for the ultimate bikepacking weekend adventure? Join us for an unforgettable self-supported bikepacking trip through Southwest Virginia. The Grayson Gravel Pie Bikepacking Adventure travels along the Virginia Creeper Trail, the beautiful gravel roads of Grayson County, Virginia, and the New River Trail. All lodging and camping arrangements are included, along with daily routes and guides riding along with you. This self-supported adventure offers resupply opportunities every 20 miles for your food and water needs. Find out more at graveltraveldirt.com.
You're listening to Mid-Atlantic Gravel, Travel, and Dirt.
Hi everybody, I'm Brian, and this is episode 250 of Mid-Atlantic Gravel, Travel, and Dirt. If you're new here, this is the podcast where we talk about gravel bikes, adventure biking, bike packing, bike camping, or just playing bikes. Joining us, or joining me, because Joey's not here again. He's got a lot of stuff going on at the bike shop and trying to keep his head above water. So joining me a little later is James Llewellyn, the event director at Mammoth Endurance Gravel up in Wellsboro, Pennsylvania. An amazing, amazing event that you really need to listen into what James is talking about. I love the format of what he's doing. It is a mammoth endurance event. Don't go into it thinking that it's anything less. He does have two distances, but great vibes, great party, great event, great atmosphere. Definitely listen into what James has to say in a little bit. Before I get to all that, remember to go on over to the show notes and check out the discount codes. We've got discount codes there from Cutaway, from Orange Mud, from Salt Stick, and from JoJ. Go over there, check them out, grab those codes and those links, and get yourself some goodies. Since it's just me, I am going to do a little short recap on Monster Cross. So Joey and I went down and met Larry in Richmond at the Pocahontas State Park. We saw so many friends, so many people were there. What an amazing event and weekend, and the route is absolutely fantastic. Monster Cross, a lot of people, there are probably more mountain bikes than gravel bikes maybe, or about 6 of one, half dozen of the other. Could have been about even, but it is a little chunkier than your typical gravel forest road, but they are gravel roads. The course does encompass gravel roads. There's some stream crossings. There is a little bit of single track. I did change out my tires to something that had a little bit more of a tread pattern. I went to the Terravale Rutlands in a 47, and I was glad that I did, as opposed to the Pathfinders, even though the Pathfinders on my Revals was a little bit wider than, believe it or not, the 42s actually measured out. Internal rim width makes a huge difference, people. I don't know that I'd ever really seen it in action. I'd always known that the wider internal rim width would flatten a tire out and make it ride wider than it's measured on the sidewall with measurements. I didn't know how drastic that could be. My Revals have a 25 millimeter internal versus I think my GRX wheels have a 21. And the way that tire flattened out, I think my 42s actually came out a little bit wider than those Rutland 47s. But it was nice to have the tread because there were some very chunky sections on the route. If you don't know Monster Cross is at the Pocahontas State Park just outside of Richmond, Virginia. And it's 2 25-mile loops. So you can do the first 25 and then enjoy the party, or you can go lap it twice and then enjoy the party. However, whichever you slice it, you're going to enjoy the party. It was cool to see. We got to chat with Jeremiah Bishop, and he actually won the event, won the long event. Just a great guy. Really good to actually have the opportunity to chat with him. We had him on the podcast a few weeks ago. If you haven't listened to that episode, I would recommend diving back in and finding that episode and listening in. We talked a lot about impossible routes and what he's doing with Vegan Cyclist. Monster Cross overall, Pocahontas State Park is a Civil Conservation Corps park built back in the 30s. Wonderful amenities, little pond. They had a swimming pool I saw en route we rode by. We did 4 creek crossings and a massive mountain bike infrastructure. Very, very intense and rich. And you actually, on the route for Monster Cross, too bad we didn't get to dip over into any of those berms, but we did a little bit of the single track on the outsides of some of those places, some of the connector trails maybe. And it was just, the route was gorgeous. No cars, not a single car. I think there were 800 or 900 folks registered for the event. Everybody just looked like they had such a great time. So well supported. There was a food after the event was done. They had plenty of emergency support. We didn't need it. I didn't see anybody else who needed it, but their presence was apparent. They were there in force, which is very cool. And it also looked like the park staff was engaged. I saw a lot of park staff. So it sounded like, or it looked like to me that it was well encouraged and supported by the park itself. And the Richmond bike scene, the packet pickup was at the Outpost Bike Shop, which is also a cool little place to get great wine and beer. And it was the whole weekend. We went down on Friday. The event was, we went down on Saturday. The event was Sunday, and then we came home Sunday afternoon. Yeah. So we did camp. It was 26 degrees overnight, and it was a cold ride the next day. I think the ride time temperature was in the low 30s. So it was a little chilly. So it was hard to kind of make that decision because you knew you're going to be working hard. You want to work up the sweat. And you're always going to be a little bit cold at the start. But it ended up perfect. Everybody had a great time. And I'd highly recommend it. If you've never done Monster Cross or considered Monster Cross, I would say make sure you put it on your radar for next year in Richmond in February. So put it on your calendar to make sure you get to look out for that one. Taking a look at our Strava Club, top 100 rider random shout-outs. Our boy Justin Laborio from Fort Mill, South Carolina. I haven't seen that name in a while. Justin, how you doing, brother? He had 196.5 miles. KG rides from Santiva, Florida with 163.7 miles. And Rush Cherry from Harleysville, Pennsylvania with 136.5. To break into the top 100 for the week, you needed 112.7. That's a little bit down from last week, but we had some weather come in. This is the drum roll, please. Drum roll. I don't know that I have a drum roll on my soundboard, but if I did, I'd hit it. Last week, we were at 960 Strava members. This week, we are at 976 Strava members. So I know that I issued the challenge last week, and y'all answered. Bravo. If I had applause, I would do that too. Big jump, 16 people. That may have actually been one of our biggest jumps maybe in a week. So I'm going to issue that same challenge again. Tell all your friends. If they're not on Strava, tell them to get on Strava, if only to register for the Strava Club at Gravel Travel Dirt. Search in the search bar or go to strava.com/clubs/gravel, travel, and dirt. All right, now sit back and enjoy this conversation with James Llewellyn from Mammoth Endurance Gravel, another event you do not want to miss. Coming up in early May, I think it's May 4th, always the first weekend in May. And he does have a hard deadline on registration of March 1st if you want to get swag, which you're going to hear about because the swag is really cool. So make sure you jump on that, jump over there and register as soon as you finish listening to him talk about this amazing event, because that's what you're going to want to do. Sit back and enjoy. All right, folks, joining us now, James Llewellyn, who's the event director for Mammoth Endurance Gravel. Did I get that right, the whole name?
Yes.
Okay. I always want to make sure, because I always seem to, when I'm talking about it to folks, I always say Mammoth Gravel, and I forget the endurance, but I love the fact that it creates the abbreviation of MEG. So
Yes. Yeah, and we really put the endurance in there just so it was right in the name, so people weren't surprised when they got up here, and then they were like, what the heck happened? So
it's the truth. We're going to talk about that because I've been looking at your bike reg and I've been looking at your Instagram, and you have got one big event. Before we get to that, though, welcome. It's great to have you back again. You've been with us before.
It's great to be here.
Where are you calling from?
Wellsboro, Pennsylvania.
So you you live right in your. Sometimes event directors don't necessarily live right in their little event turf, but you're right there in the mix of it. That's cool.
Yes, I am. I'm very fortunate to be here. So
What's the Wellsboro bike scene like? I know you got this event, and I know it's a beautiful area, but like outside of these times when all these people converge on the places, what's it look like?
it's really interesting because we have the Pine Creek Rail Trail, so we are constantly getting people from really all over the world to come ride the rail trail. But there's quite a few locals that ride. Every once in a while, I'll be out riding and just pass one of my friends or one of the local people, and it's nice to meet and chat with them.
Nice.
But yeah, there's so much road and not a very big population. So yeah, you don't always come across people. You don't come across cars very often when you're off on the gravel roads. So
Nice. I've done Pine Creek a couple of times, maybe even more than a couple, maybe 3 or 4. I'm not even sure. I've done it in the heat of the summer. I've done it in the cold of the late shoulder season, almost too cold to actually make sense to even go do it. It's a beautiful place. It's absolutely gorgeous. Called the Little Grand Canyon, right?
yeah, Pennsylvania Grand Canyon.
Pennsylvania Grand Canyon, yeah.
Yeah, it's a really amazing area. It is a little Grand Canyon basically,
and
not quite as massive.
I don't think you get that initially when you're riding on the trail, but on a couple of these trips, we've hiked up Turkey Path, I guess, north of Tidaton.
Yeah, that's a fun one.
And gone to the top, and there's always like a lot of hubbub and activity up there. And you go out on the overlooks, and you really can see it. You can see the way that the hills and the mountains kind of finger in, and the creeks running through the middle of it. You really get the feel for it. So it's legit. It's real. It's absolutely 100% spot on. Beautiful. Absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah, I love it up here. So,
well, let's talk a little bit about Mammoth Endurance Gravel. You've made some route changes, but looking at it, I was looking at the bike reg. It is still, I mean, the name holds true. It is a mammoth. It is a beast for both the long and short distances. Tell us about the routes and tell us about the route changes.
Yeah, the route changes. So I've been doing the event since 2020, and every single year I've kind of been shifting the route so that you're getting to hit new stuff every time. So at this point, I wouldn't say I'm running out of new stuff. You're still going to hit some roads even this year that we haven't done before, but we're also kind of just slicing and dicing and hitting things from directions that we haven't done before. So in like 2021, everyone got the joy of descending West Rim Road, and it was absolutely bananas. And I heard about it, and everyone just loved it. And it was out of this world, and it was a highlight. And this year, I'm proud to announce that we're going to climb West Rim. So, and I did it this past summer, and it is an absolute butt kicker to the max.
How long is that climb?
It's a butt kicker of a climb. I think it's 4 to 5 miles. But it's one of those things that even when you're done with the main climb, unfortunately you have like rollers on top. So you're already whooped, and it's not going to be a descent. It's just going to be more up and down as you're on top of the mountain.
Oh, that sounds mean, is what it sounds like, but it sounds beautiful at the same time. So
it is. There's at least 3 to 4 vistas in that stretch of road alone when you're on West Rim Road.
There's a reward. There's a reward, and
absolutely.
It sounds like last year they got to fly down it and not really enjoy it and have the opportunity to take it all in. So now, the flip side, they get to actually take their time climbing it. I like that. I like that a lot.
Yeah, the vistas will be a nice little break from the grueling climb. So
nice. And 4 to 5 miles, that is no joke. It's no matter what the grades are, anytime you're going up for that long, you're gonna feel it.
Yeah, and unfortunately, well, or fortunately, depending on what kind of person you are, that's just one of them. I counted the elevation map and the peaks, and I left out the rollers, and we're looking at probably about 20 climbs over the whole course.
Oh
So
boy. Oh wow. Wow. But you know, that's what you come for. That's what you come
it
for.
is,
You know,
it is,
and the name
and I
endurance is in the name, folks. So, you know, don't be surprised.
It really is. And everyone else is like, oh, I mean, you think so? Some people are like, hey, I mean, you think you could flatten this out? And I'm like, we can do that, but we're going to all ride paved roads and we're going to be on the shoulder as cars pass us at 55 miles an hour.
Nope.
It's really the only flat roads are the paved ones in the valley. And everything else is climbing or descending, climbing or descending.
So you've got two routes. You got a long route and then a almost long route, I'll call it. So what are the distances and what is the elevation on each one?
So the distances are 72 miles for the long route. So that is everyone leaves, no matter what route you're doing, everyone leaves in the morning and does 72 together. And then when you're done with that 72, you're back where you started in Wellsboro.
Right.
And then there is Paradise Grill. They're serving swine fries, and there's also a solid vegan option that he does. And then if you, this is a great time for people at lunch to assess how they feel, how they're doing, and then you can make the decision like, hey, I'm feeling great. I'm going to go for the full pool and head out again if you registered for the full. And those that just registered for the half, like your day is done. Enjoy lunch and you're good to go. But the full riders are then going to leave there after doing that first 72 miles, and they are going to head into the second half, which is I'm just double checking to make sure I give you all the right numbers.
I see 64 on Bike Reg.
Yep. Yeah, that's correct. Yep, you are right. So then after you complete the morning 72, you do the afternoon 64.
Wow. And what's the elevation on the first loop and then the second loop? Well, I actually do see the full Mammoth is that 135 miles and 13,000 feet.
Yes.
What's the first part? Any clue?
The first part is 6,600 feet.
Okay.
Roughly.
Okay. I mean, it's
you might tick over 7. Like everyone has such a variation. We've had some people come back and they've done the full route and they've been 2,000 to 3,000 feet over. Like even the distance between I use Komoot for mapping. Mm-hmm. The distance between Komoot and Strava is like over 1,000 feet. So
you know, it feels like they should be able to dial that. I know it's all about tree lines and then pressure and there's all different things and variables that go into it, but it does feel like, you know, it's a consistent thing that there's a lot of inconsistencies, if that makes sense, with regards to people's elevation.
No matter how you slice it or dice it, you're going to do a lot of climbing. So,
well, you know, I was going to say, if you're riding in north central Pennsylvania, plan on 100 feet per mile, and if it's under it, you probably got it wrong. So, you know,
I think we should put that on a T-shirt. That is exactly right.
It's 100 feet per mile, no matter which way you slice it, dice it, or cut it up. I love your logo, the mammoth with the horns on either end. Did the name Mammoth simply just come from the fact that it's such a big mammoth size event, or is there any other connection?
No, that's exactly where it came from. Okay. Yeah, you hit the nail right on the head.
Got it. And what? So registration is open already, and
yes,
routes are out. But you've got a registration sort of deadline that's kind of quickly approaching. We're recording here on the 21st. This will release on February 22nd. But you've got a deadline that's kind of quickly coming up.
Yeah, the deadline is that on March 1st, that is when we are going to submit our order to our shirt manufacturer. The we did last year the GravCat, we call it GravCash button down.
Mm-hmm.
It's stretchy fabric, really comfortable. The There's art that's sublimated on the shirt, and then we have the ride logo big across the shoulders, and then underneath is the sponsors logos, and
Nice.
it's just a really comfortable shirt for whether you're chilling or riding, whatever you're doing. It's super comfortable.
Nice.
But yeah, we need to get that order in by March 1st. So unfortunately, anyone registering after March 1st is not going to be able to receive that shirt.
So get on it, folks. This is your wake up call, folks. And your total event limit registration is 200. Where are you at right now? How many spots you need to fill?
We have 120 spots left. So
okay, so we can get some people in there. And I think I almost feel like post COVID, people they got into that habit after COVID of kind of like almost waiting with registrations. It feels like it just feels like it's something is different from the way people register for events. Has that been your experience?
It's odd. It is odd the way they kind of trickle in, and then I shut off my registration completely, typically a month prior.
Oh wow!
Because there's so many things included. Like for the full riders, breakfast, lunch, dinner. We have an aid stop that is a traveling barista that has a full food trailer, and she has the full size espresso machine in there, and she makes beverages, and all that stuff's included. So I pay my vendors ahead of time, and they get the food ahead of time. So that's, some people are like, hey, why do you shut it down so early? It's like we have a lot of things to get ready for you all to come. So and all that pivots on having exact numbers. That way we can cut down on waste as far as food and other things.
That's you're managing their experience responsibly. It makes a lot of sense what you just kind of walked through, because the last thing you want to have happen is you've got 150, you prep for 150, and then a week before, all of a sudden you get 50 more. And now those people that are coming in on the tail end of the route, they reach a vendor that's providing them something, and there's nothing there for them.
We use so many great local vendors. It's great for them. They love it. They love having the riders. They love the business. And so it's something that, I just don't feel right springing on them like, hey, you're going to need 50 extra entrees or whatever. So
so you got a coffee barista. I like that. Who else is supporting you in this? What other vendors you got? Since we went there, let's talk about them.
We have Paradise Grill. He's doing him and his family are making lunch and dinner out of their food truck for everybody. And thankfully he is very experienced in the vegan as well. So he has vegan and non-vegan options for everybody. Wandering Barista is the same way. She makes amazing baked goods to go with her coffee. And that she also has vegan and non-vegan baked goods. So thankfully everyone will be taken care of no matter what their dietary needs are. And then vendors, that's about it. We have we have something we're working on. I haven't officially announced it yet.
Uh-oh.
I mean, you heard it here first, I guess.
Okay. I love that. We love exclusives.
So Schoonover Plumbing and Heating has sponsored they've thrown some money down to get everybody. A good friend of mine is a microbrewer, and he is making a elite, like a specific tech, signature beer. It's actually a Kolsch
Nice.
for the event. So that's going to be at the end of the ride. That's going to be there for everybody to enjoy.
Those Schoonover people, they're good people, I swear.
They really are. They are the best.
They are. Yep. They are. Give a shout out. Hey, Will. Just shout out to Will.
Yep. Will and Eric. Yep.
Oh man.
They are awesome people for sure.
Angie too. Great people.
Yep. Angie's always out there killing it on the running courses. So,
Well, she got a bike not too long ago too. So I think when we went up for the Tour de Chunk, I think that may have been one of her first or longest rides, which was also a great event in the fall. Up there,
yes,
in your general
Tour de
vicinity.
Chunk.
Your general vicinity. So,
Yeah.
what does the prospective rider need to know if they're thinking about coming up to Mammoth?
What they need to know, the main thing I would say would be, and we've said in the event notes and everything, be ready to carry the water and snacks that you need for 35-mile stretches.
Okay.
So depending on who you are, you might be able to view this as like a light bike packing kind of event, because depending on what your intake is, yeah. I mean,
Okay.
I myself carry 2 tall bottles, and I can make it 45 to 50 miles. So I didn't want to push everybody to that extreme, but with the way the lay of the land is and availability as far as safe places and approved places to have aid stops,
Right.
uh, we sometimes have to stretch it out. So there will be one maximum 35-mile stretch between the start, and it will actually be 26 miles to first aid, and then just about 34 we're going to add a second aid, because that first loop is so long at
Right.
72 miles. We're going to add a second aid stop at mile 60.
And also, just don't think about mileage. You're thinking about time on bike, because if you're doing 35 miles, what we talked about earlier, 100 feet per mile, that's 3,500 feet of elevation. It's not just like going out on your regular, route and riding 35 miles. Unless you've got that kind of elevation in your backyard, which we down here do not. So they're completely different things. When I hear 35 miles versus 35 miles and 3,500 feet, keep all of that stuff in mind and try to get your estimate of time on bike.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do have usually it's a 2 o'clock cutoff. Where if you get back after that first morning loop and by 2 p.m., we're getting ready to send out the sweep riders for that second loop.
Mm.
Which we've been really blessed to have some of the best sweep riders. The morning is 2 local guys that I volunteer to sweep, and they're really great. Uh, Sean and Doug, and then in the afternoon we have Evan and H from Nittany Mountain Works.
Nice.
So yeah, they've helped for the past. I think this year will be their 3rd year, and they've been such a huge help. Such a joy to have at the event. So.
Now, will Evan have like a trailer with like a little mini grill on it where he'll be making the pierogies like as he's sweeping the course? Because that's what I would expect.
I think that's just an unpaved thing.
We've all come to love them.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. I think Evan. It's nice because I think Evan just gets to enjoy some riding at the event. So it's great to see them in their element. So.
Yeah, super cool. We had H on not too long ago.
That was an amazing episode.
Yeah. I swear, Pennsylvania just. I said it. I think I even said it last week. Some of the best people. I really do. The more and more opportunity I have to, through the podcast, get to like meet and greet and talk with people that have that Pennsylvania connection. There's some genuine good people in your neck of the woods.
There really is. There really is, and there's really good people all over Pennsylvania too. And I mean, as Nate Baker and aka Baron Von Fancy Pants says, PA gravel is some of the best. And I mean, I know I'm biased, but it's really great gravel in Pennsylvania. So
we're bringing them all around. I'm sitting down here as a flatlander in Maryland, but Joey and I are doing our best to bring them all around to that Pennsylvania gravel is the way to be. So we're even trying to get those West Virginia folks to come on over to Pennsylvania and have a good time.
Absolutely.
What's the best bike setup going to be?
The best bike setup, I would say one of the most popular tires for the locals is a 700 by 40 semi slick.
Okay.
That's what the majority of us are running. So obviously, if you want a little more of that Cadillac comfort, I run sometimes 45s, depending on what I'm planning on going out and riding on.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, we had some people that have come up and ran like 700 by 35s, no problem. There's really nothing that crazy you're gonna get into. We don't like sending you down stuff where you're like, oh, I wish I had a mountain bike right now.
Right.
We try to stay away from that stuff. So
Any single track on the course, or is it all pretty much gravel roads?
it's all gravel roads. There's one section on the afternoon loop that is grassy double track.
Okay. Fair.
So yeah, and then there is one very short section that um the riders have done it a couple years ago. It's called Turkey Road,
Okay.
and it used to be a road like 5 years ago, 6 years ago, and it was shut down. But it's a half mile. It's very short.
Okay.
And we do not descend that for safety reasons. That is a climb, but it's little under a half mile of just a little hike a bike.
Okay.
Uh,
Yeah.
but
That's part of the adventure. Something a little different, something a little out of the ordinary. And you mentioned it earlier how you're running out of roads, changing up the route. I don't know how you do that. I don't know how you can get those same distances and put people in a different place every year. That's telling of what you've got going on there. That's pretty cool.
yeah, yeah, I'm really stoked about it.
Now, when folks come into town for the event, what kind of where are there places to stay? Are there campgrounds? Are there hotels? What you got going on in Wellsboro?
Yeah, absolutely. The closest campgrounds to Wellsboro are the camping at Colton Point State Park
Okay.
and then Hills Creek State Park. And those are both about a 15 to 20-minute drive from Wellsboro.
Okay.
Um, and then downtown, for the last few years, the Canyon Motel and the uh, Sherwood Motel they're both owned by the same company, and they've offered a 10% discount if you stay 2 nights or more when you mention Mammoth Endurance Gravel when you make your reservation.
Nice.
And they are both right downtown, probably within 4 to 5 blocks, and they're shorter blocks. They're not. I think they're definitely shorter than standard city blocks. But yeah, they're only a few blocks from the event start. So
Yeah, and your event starts right in the middle of town, right? We were talking about this before.
yeah, basically, yeah, it's right downtown. It's and Wellsboro is quite small, so but yeah, right downtown. Can't miss it.
Now, I am going to encourage all the listener types to find your Instagram, Mammoth Endurance Gravel. It's at Mammoth Endurance Gravel. I was doing my prep, my show prep, and that's one of the things that I do. And I go and I scroll through folks, Instagram. Yours is phenomenal.
I appreciate it.
And for me, it's fantastic because it's nothing but just pictures of people on bikes on course, and
Yes.
that tells the story. I mean, I'm sitting here and I'm scrolling through and I see people riding through little rock gardeny fields. I see gravel double track. I see true like farm roads. I see it just all looks, and then there's the downtown, sort of like you see the start, you see the ride out of town, and it's very cool. Very, very, very good. Very well done. Love it.
Thank you.
Love
Thank you.
it.
Yeah, a lot of the content on there, as well as also just me out on course in my own personal riding, just snapping photos. So
Yeah.
yeah, other than the few Rothrock grit photos sprinkled in there when I head over there to help with sweeping, it's all of riding around Tioga County. So
Nice. Love it. Love it. And some of them, they're really, really nice photos. So you got a little flair there. You got a little eye. I see some. Is there any water crossings on course?
No. Actually, the first couple, I have a funny story behind that. The first couple of years, I was going to do a water crossing, but the problem is with it being in the spring, the water is at its like highest time. So that time of year is just when the water is at its highest, and you have so many people that have so many different levels of comfort when it comes to that. I'm also like 6'3", and I've been in the creek crossing when it was like just above my knee. So like it wasn't a road that I felt comfortable going down, and I yeah. So that's kind of how that ended. So
Well, that's it's good to know.
yeah,
And
no water crossings.
I
So
I just did Monster Cross down in Richmond last weekend, and I think there were 4 creek crossings of various, and they were true small creeks. There were no raging torrents, but it's also kind of throws you because you're not really sure if you don't know the course, you don't know what you're coming up on. And if you're out there by yourself and you don't have the opportunity to see somebody else enter said water, you're not exactly sure what you're in for when you hit it. So it's interesting. It's interesting. I mean, they're fun. Don't get me wrong, but sometimes they can go a little sideways on you. So
yeah, and just with the extreme climbing and having all that in everyone's legs, yeah, I didn't think a creek would, and you're having weak legs and trying to navigate navigate a creek.
You got any shout outs for event sponsors?
Oh man, yeah, the sponsors have really come through this year. We've added quite a few new ones. Some of the new ones this year are Kuat Racks, Schoonover Plumbing and Heating. We have the kind of the old faithfuls of Nittany Mountain Works, and State Bicycle is back.
Nice.
They were, yeah. So they've sent over a lot of cool goodies to give away.
Nice.
Yeah, just a lot of great. There's more. I'm sure I'm forgetting. I mean, there's Key Lab. They're the rock. Without Key Lab, the local locksmith, he's a friend of mine, great guy. We would not be having this event. So
Cool.
um,
Cool. Hey, that's awesome that it's not just I'm listening to the names of the different types of businesses, and it's not just bike people sponsoring a bike event. You've got community engagement that reaches deeper, which is very, very good to see. That's awesome. So good job. Congratulations.
yeah. Hey, thank you so much.
Now,
Hey,
yeah.
oh, I was just gonna say this is. I just wanted to bring this up. So I've had people in the past mention me like, hey, um, could you maybe do a fall event because we really enjoy this area so much, and I had shut it down immediately. And this point has been discussed a little bit on Instagram, but not pushed. So this is another somewhat exclusive here only. But we've finalized. We've gone ahead with a local. It's actually down Route 6 a little more over in almost Potter County, like on the cusp of Potter County, a campground that is going to be hosting. And I'm really just assisting the owners with this, but we're going to be doing a 3-day gravel camping. It's actually called PA Gravel Fest. So it's going to be live music, food, camping, and that's going to happen in the fall.
Nice.
So
I think I just saw that on Instagram, and I think I jumped on it. I'm pretty sure I jumped on it because I saw that. And anytime I see like longer than just one day event, that idea of the multi-day with the camping, that is just such a fantastic scenario. It's so much fun. It always turns out to be such a great time. So
absolutely.
Good job on that.
And I mean, what you're putting together over in the Canton area, that's going to be epic. I can already tell you, I've seen what you're bringing to the table, and the area over there is amazing.
Thank you.
It's going to be absolutely epic. I'm so stoked to see what comes out of that. So
yeah, and bringing the Dirty Kitten folks from down in Virginia and Frederick, bringing them up and putting together a women's weekend for one of the weekends, and then working with the folks over at Travis over at Grusk to kind of bring some of those West Virginia people and get them into that Pennsylvania scene. I'm excited about it. I think this idea of these cross collaborations with these other event directors from outside of that area really has the opportunity to bring people that wouldn't see an area, wouldn't see a place. So
it's nothing but a winning situation for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Now, where can folks find out more about the event? And obviously, I'll put these links in the show notes.
Yeah, the biggest and easiest way to keep up on the most pertinent information is on Facebook or Instagram.
Okay.
The bike reg page has the bulk of your information on it. And if you just want to see like the fresh stuff, little blurbs here and there, that's the Facebook and Instagram. If people have questions, like feel free to DM the social medias or send an email. I'm not trying to brag, but I'm pretty good at staying on top of them, so I can get back to you quite quickly, and I'm more than happy to do that. So
Got it. So Facebook, Instagram, and Bike Reg. I'm going to have links to all of those online resources and places in the show notes so folks can go over there and check that out. And one more time, it's the end of February. Get your butt over there and get registered before March 1st so that you can get that. And go look at the Instagram and look at the shirt. I did that too. Why would you not want to get in on that? And why would you want to miss out on that?
yeah, we're just trying to give you a shirt here. So
you're Wes, like Wes used to say, you're losing money because this shirt is so amazing that just you got to register for the event. Otherwise, you're losing money. You're just losing out. So don't do that.
Yeah,
don't do that.
I have the final iteration of this year's shirt is literally in the mail. It's almost to me. It didn't quite make it before this, but as soon as I get it, I will be posting photos up. But yeah,
nice.
It's basically the same awesome shirt as last year, style wise, but brand new design this year, and we've tweaked some things to make it even better and more comfortable. So
cool. I love it. It's not a t-shirt. It's not a t-shirt, folks. You don't want, t-shirts are great. Don't get me wrong. I'm a t-shirt. I'm a t-shirt snob. But I love a good t-shirt, but something different than a t-shirt is freaking awesome. So kudos. Good job.
Yeah. Hey, thank you. Thank you.
James, you got a few minutes to stick around for this or that? It's just me and you.
Oh,
so
absolutely. Let's do it.
First item, a sunrise ride or a sunset ride. So you're out riding before sunrise, you get to catch it coming up, or you are out there till after the sun sets, you get to catch that too.
Oh, that is a hard choice, but I would have to say a sunrise ride. Something about that time of day.
Yeah.
It's just magical.
Yeah. I have always been like this, like massive sunset freak. I absolutely love sunsets, but I feel like getting out on the bike in the morning before the sun breaks and being out there for it from a ride perspective is something that I would prefer to. I think the sunrise. Second item, and this we were just talking about this, t-shirt or gravel casual.
Definitely gravel casual for sure.
I love it. I probably should. We shouldn't have talked so much about it a few minutes ago. I forgot I put that in. Okay. Out for a ride, would you rather have it overcast or sunny?
Oh, sunny.
Really?
It's something about, I love riding in sunny weather.
Because I think I would go for overcast, and I know I'll speak for Joey. I know that Joey prefers the overcast. He's a photog, so he loves the light that comes with the overcast, and I think he does some of his best work with that kind of a setting, and maybe that's why he prefers that. For me, I think I'm going to go with sunny as well. There's always something about it that it feels like a bright, light day when you've got that sun, especially if you're in the woods and you got that dappling through the trees.
Yeah.
Really.
Oh,
dig
yeah.
That. Really
Absolutely.
dig that. Last item on this week's this or that. And I had a hard time coming up with number 4, so we're going to go with this: Bingo or Bluey.
You
have kids?
My daughter.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I have 4 daughters, and they love that show.
Yeah.
Definitely Bingo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I spend a lot of time with my little granddaughter, watching Bluey. She'll whenever I'm there, it's like, Bluey, please. She's very, very polite about it, but she's also needs to see her Bluey. And I you know what? I'm going to go with Bluey. I think Bluey is the glue that holds it all together, and Bingo, while great, they're both wonderful. That show is really a lot of fun, even as an adult.
It really is. I would recommend, no matter whether you have kids or not, watching it. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. So give yourself some downtime, folks, and watch a bingo or bluey. Hey, listen, James, one more time. This is fantastic to chat with you again and to hear about the changes at Mammoth and the things that are staying the same. I love your format. I love the loop comes back to the center and then a loop out again. I think that's just a fantastic format that helps people. Have the best experience of the day.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's a different format, but it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So thanks so much for having me on, Brian.
Right on. So like one more time, I'm gonna push this one more time. Get out there and register before March 1st to get yourself a cool shirt. So it is about time to shut it down for the week. Thanks everybody for listening to this episode of Mid-Atlantic Gravel, Travel, and Dirt. If you've enjoyed the podcast, maybe consider jumping over to our Patreon family. We really do appreciate all that support. And your monthly donation of just a couple of bucks helps us keep things going. If you're looking to get in touch with us, graveltraveldirt.com, at Mid-Atlantic GTD. Down at Monster Cross, people kept coming up and touching Joey, which was kind of weird, but I also got a kick out of it. Mid-Atlantic Gravel, Travel, and Dirt is recorded this week from right here in my closet, surrounded by clothing, all the way up to Wellsboro, Pennsylvania. Thanks for riding along. Till next time, do good, be nice, go slow, respect others. Love you, bye.
Love you, bye.